Curious Case of Alexis Murphy's Disappearance and the Colorism Factor. My newest blog creation. Check out this and many other articles written and produced by yours truly, Brian Solange, at www.patreon.com/BrianTooBadTV Solange. You can now become a Brian Blogs Corner Club member for as little as $7 a month. As a member, you can gain exclusive access to my personal blogs that address a range of topics from Black society to Jewish Hollywood, many of which will never be converted into video commentary format. Again, if you want exclusive access to the Brian Blogs Corner Club, become a member for only $7 a month. You can rest assured my blogs will be as fiery, provocative, and hardcore as my videos. Just go to www.patreon.com/BrianTooBadTV Solange and become a member of the Brian Blogs Corner Club today.
All right, I'm ready. Rolling.
Yeah. Gangsta shit. Real smooth. You dig? The big boss dog. Snoop D-O double G.
Cause my life worth more than the money that you live and die for. And where from my nigga you get selling out your own man when he the reason you got on.
I ain't tripping.
You know they say the gangsters don't live that long, but how can I be at home if I wasn't really that strong? I probably should be long gone. Tell
me, what does it take to be dangerous? Every time I look around, the game steady changing. From coast to coast, rearranging. Them boys out west, we insist to keep it banging. Oh yeah, we maintain it. Burning up the charts, we spark, now we blaze. My young homeboy, he amazing.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? So, before I get to the topic at hand, I just wanted to address some of you brothers that have been asking me why I haven't been playing background music as much in my videos, and I thought I explained this on a live stream not too long ago, a couple of live streams back, that I've been switching to non-copyrighted music or no music at all, because I am currently and now officially for the last couple of weeks now been doing this vlogging and blogging thing part-time professionally, meaning that I do intend to make at least a small bit of profit off of my blogs that I have over on patreon.com. Hence, you've noticed that my introductions have been changing, where I've been advertising my exclusive blogs over on Patreon, where you can get to see articles written solely by yours truly for only $7 a month. And I'm looking to see, I'm just kind of dipping my toe in the water of possibly remonetizing my channel here, so only for the purpose of doing super chat, since as I told you guys, I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. I don't expect to make like a living or a fortune off of doing this, but I do need to be recompensated for my time to some extent for producing this, some of this content. Now, as I said, my videos, my streams are always going to be free, but my blogs, like I said, you can sign up on Patreon to become a paid patron for only $7 a month and see content, written only content occasionally I'll put a video over there, like if it's something like X-rated or something like that. But most of that content I will never produce a video for over here or on BitChute or Black Avenger. So that's why I'm charging for it. Plus it takes a lot of time to edit. And let me explain to you guys why, I don't know why other YouTube creators, do this. Some of them are doing this as a full-time career. But me, I still run a business, and I'll give you an example of why, to produce the amount of content. Once I noticed last year that my my channel was blowing up, where I was getting like 1,000+ views a day, I started to move to crank out more content, and that's when I went to officially launch my Patreon page. Once I started doing both written articles and video production, not even including all of the marketing through advertising that I had to do, just editing that took forever. There was one specific day where I took off an entire day of running business operations just to write one blog article and produce one video. It took an entire day to do that, because not only do you have to write it and do the audio, but you have to edit everything. And with your blogs, you have to go back and you have to proofread what you said. Kind of like when you send something off to a publishing company, they have proofreaders to correct mistakes that were made before they publish the book. So there's that, and also the prospect that now I have to, if I want to do background music, to be able to monetize my videos for super chat, for that even to be a remote possibility. If I choose to go that route, I have to find non-copyrighted music, which isn't always the easiest thing to do, because there are channels that are dedicated to putting out videos of non-copyrighted music. There's tons of non-copyrighted music of every different genre, but what they don't tell you is a lot of that non-copyrighted music, some of it does eventually become copyrighted, so you have to stay up to date with the videos that they put out playing non-copyrighted music, because like say something that was non-copyright in 2015 that they put a video out for, you play it on your video, you could get a copyright claim, because that video was that music in that video was copyrighted like 2 years later in 2017 or something, so everybody's scared that somebody's gonna get a piece of their pie. But anyway, just helping you guys understand what the deal is on that. Now, very briefly, I want to go back to this case in Tampa, Florida, of this hood rat ThugThot that went by the name Nina Ross the Boss, who was gunned down along with a black male inside of a car while she was sitting in the driveway, from what I understand, of someone that she knew. Now, from the way the news reports are spinning the story, this female and a guy were sitting in the car, and somebody just came up either on foot or by car and just sprayed the car that they were in with lead and killed them both. And as usual with these type of stories, they try to spin the ratchet black welfare queen, as some loving mother of 6 that was devoted to her children, and she was enrolled in college, studying to be an astronaut or something. But when you go to her social media, almost 95% of the time you find out that she was pretty much the devil's advocate. And there was no different of a case in this situation. When I looked at some of Nina Ross the Boss's music videos, she was just your typical, all-American, multicolor weave rat, prison tatted up, funky, nasty, silicone butt injected, K. Michelle reject, STD infested, foul mouth criminal ass heifer. And I decided, because I first saw the story, it popped up on Insta Memorials on Instagram, which is where I find a lot of this content. Well, I find a lot of the stories for this type of content in regards to when Carmen the Grim Reaper catches up with a lot of these ratchet thoughts for the fast and reckless lifestyle that they live so often. And I just, when I saw it, obviously I was disgusted. It wasn't anything that I hadn't seen before, but it never ceases to amaze me how nonchalant society overall is, and specifically black society is, about giving these type of just filthy, disgusting creatures a pass. So what I did was, at first I said, I'm not even going to waste my time doing commentary on this thought. We've been there, done that. We've seen this a million times, and before we die, if we live the average life expectancy, we'll probably see it a million times more. So as many of you know, I decided to release a video about it. But what I did was, I released a community post, like a written article post, kind of describing the situation about who she was, what situation she was in, what I felt about it. And then I released a video re-upload, which was a music video that she did a few years back. And I pretty much just, she was describing what a bad boss bitch was in her words. And I pretty much just let her tone, her demeanor, her voice, her video with her and the other weave rats in it, pretty much I just let nature take its course. I felt like there was nothing that needed to be said to follow that up, and I wasn't going to do anything else. I wasn't going to do another video on this until I was scrolling through the comment section of the music video re-upload that I did of this nasty heifer. And I saw not one but two brothers that left comments, and both of them claimed to be from Tampa. One of them said that he didn't know this Nina Ross the Boss, whose real name is Jamil Spillman Ingram, or was Jamil Spillman Ingram, 31-year-old baby mama welfare thought of 6 children, half a dozen children. And on a side note, that's why I hope so badly that this government shutdown continues through February, so them benefits can run out in March, and then we're gonna see how strong and independent these whores are. We're gonna see how much of a bad boss bitch they are when this damn WIC and Section 8 run out. But anyway, that's a subject for another video. But both of these brothers, they claim to be from Tampa, and they also claimed to have the scoop on what actually happened in the situation where this female and some male, which I can only assume is a black male, who for whatever reason has not at all been mentioned. From what I could see in the news or on social media, they're just focusing on her because, she was a loving, strong, black, single mama and all of that crap. they were saying that they heard through the grapevine in the Tampa area that she was trying to set up this Arab that she was swirling with, that she was fucking, and or dating, or both, and she was trying to set him up to get robbed, and he got the drop on the situation and killed her and this other dude, or had somebody come and kill them. Now, at first I was a little skeptical about that claim, because Arabs are not typically known for doing drive-bys or walk-ups and gunning people down, especially not in black neighborhoods. Maybe they do it over there in the Middle East. Most of the time when a nigga is killed by one of these Arabs, it's usually in their corner liquor store after trying to rob it. So, I was skeptical. I kept asking both of the brothers. I asked them repeatedly for, corroborating evidence to substantiate this claim that they're making, especially the one that was very detailed about what he claimed to have heard or known about the case. And I didn't get a reply back. So I was skeptical at first. And, I didn't rule out the possibility that she may have, tried to lure this Arab dude that this guy claimed she was involved with to a house or a second location, and had one of her goons ride along, and he may have felt funny, he may have felt his hairs raising up on his back, and knew something was going down, and he pulled something and killed her and the goon while he was in the car, and he got the drop on him before they could rob him, and then he ran out. But then I thought, of course, about the David Carroll rabbit holes, where he said, these Arabs, they don't take these black hoes home, they just take them and they fuck them right there behind the counter in the liquor store. So wasn't too sure about that story. But because I'm thinking, it's likely a drug deal going bad, or she didn't piss some nigga off that she was fucking around with, and he's coming back for revenge, or the dude that she was in the car with, the bullets were intended for him. But then when I went and I took these two guys' stories in the comment section to investigate further, and when I looked, to my surprise, what I was actually looking for at first, I was looking to try to find anything on the internet to corroborate the claims that they were making, like looking on Lipstick Alley, or scrolling through her last Instagram post to see if anybody was talking about, because a lot of times people that are closer to a situation, they will say things. They'll leave posts on the internet, saying things that they know about the person or the group that's involved. But as I started, looking for that, Googling her name, I noticed that mugshots of her popped up, and I said, okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, well, what did this dirty hoe get pulled over for? Like drinking and driving or something? But when I started to look at her records, I noticed that there was multiple mugshots of her on the same website, dating back to when she was 18 years old, in January of 2006. And I'm like, wait, hold the phone. Because if she, and I'm looking, and her arrest records, they range from 2006 all the way up until about almost exactly 1 year ago, January of 2018. What's even more weird, what's even more eerie, is that not only does she have multiple arrest records down in Florida, but she has 2 arrest records here in my home state of Illinois, up near the Chicagoland area. She has an arrest record in Cook County, and she has an arrest record in Illinois. I mean, in Will County, which is just south of Cook County. And Cook County, for those of you who don't know, is where Chicago is. So I'm looking at this, and I'm kind of getting freaked out because I'm thinking, wait, this nasty hoe was this close to me? Like, her last known arrest records, from what I could see, and mugshot, even though she's a native of Tampa and she was killed down in Tampa, her latest arrest records in 2017 and 2018 were up here in Illinois. So at some point she traveled from Florida to Illinois, and she was likely in the Chicago area, but she also got arrested in Will County as well. So she was up here on some type of bullshit. And then the second thing I noticed when I looked at the arrest records was, not only was she getting arrested almost every other year, but also her almost all of her arrest records down in Florida, and I'm gonna go over them for you in a second here. But all her arrest records down in Florida were for like violent felonies or misdemeanors. But all of her records up here were for theft or criminal mischief. So let me just take you over some of the criminal records here, because I'm about to make 2 points actually. The first arrest record I saw was when she was 18 years old. It says that she was born on October 27th, 1987, only 2.5 years after I was born. And what I noticed with the pattern of arrest records, first off, was that she probably had been arrested plenty of times as a minor, meaning under the age of 18, but because juvenile records are sealed, that's probably the reason why her arrest records start in 2016 at the age of 18, where you can actually see her criminal mugshot and what she was charged and convicted of. So in 2006, January 11th, 2006, she was arrested for aggravated assault. And aggravated assault, for those of you who don't know, is an assault that happens with a weapon, okay? And in some cases that's classified as a deadly weapon. And not only was she arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon, but she was arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon on a pregnant female, likely welfare queen, baby mama ThugThot like she was. So she assaulted a black female. And before I go any further, one of the things that I wanted to address was how you had the likes of, Egypt and Cynthia G and all these, goofy ass females talking about, how beta black males, are attacking black women, and black men are so violent and all this, that, and the third, and black women are more likely to be killed by their boyfriends and husbands than anybody else. But what they don't touch on is that, and I didn't get a chance to do too much research into this. I might make this a video in and of itself, but they don't touch on how a majority of assaults against black females are not carried out by black males, but they're carried out by other black females. They're black females that are beating these chicks up and threatening them. We know this. Now, in domestic violence cases, as with any race, yes, you're going to have more black men involved in violent domestic disputes with black females. But overall, when you talk about, outside of domestic violence, when you talk about just violent assaults, batteries, in a lot of cases, if it's, you know, not some nigga that she's fucking, it's a female that's attacking these black females. So then, anyway, I continue to look. She has that one arrest in 06 for aggravated assault on a pregnant female. In 2008, she got another assault charge. In 2014, I believe she got another aggravated assault charge. In 2009, she was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon, and it claims here no intent to kill, but it was an assault with a deadly weapon or something like that. So I'm just seeing a pattern of, you know, your typical weave rat baby mama ThugThot 2019 edition. And that doesn't surprise me. You know, the amount of times that this hoe's been locked up. Again, now also while browsing her very long violent criminal history that probably extends even beyond her 18th birthday, but again, as I said, her juvie records are likely sealed, but I'm pretty sure she had plenty of felonies before 18 as well. I also noticed, as I put in the introductory, that she had a series of aliases that the police made record of. Jamil Ingram, last name Ingram spelled with an E. Jamil Lee Ingram, Lee Ingram spelled with an I, and Jamil Lee Ingram spelled with an E. Jamil Lee Ingram spelled with an I was her most popular alias, although she was born Jamil Spillman Ingram. That's what her baby mama named her, but she almost never went by Jamil Spillman. She always went by Jamil Lee. And having an alias is a tool of the trade for anybody that's involved majorly in the criminal underworld, a career criminal, which she clearly was. She also went by Jamaica Ingram, spelled with an I, when she got arrested here in Illinois. So wherever she traveled and wherever she got handcuffed and charged, she had some type of alias that was not her birth name. Now also, while researching this, I went to her Instagram page because I was trying to figure out where all these brothers were getting this information that claimed that she was in a car trying to set up this Arab dude, and he wound up somehow getting a drop on her and killing her, and then her one of her 6 baby daddies that she spit out illegitimate children from got to drop on him after he blew her shit for brains out and killed the Arab in retaliation. And so I went to the last post on her Instagram where, you know, people were sending thousands of RIP messages to this thought, and I saw in one post that people, and you'll be able to see it here in the screenshot, people were arguing with someone who had created a fake page with her stage name, Nina Ross the Boss, and it was titled at exposing Nina Ross. And when I clicked on it, it had already been removed from Instagram. I guess people that were mad that, you know, whoever made this page was leaking information about this hoe, they had it flagged down and Instagram removed it. And so I didn't get a chance to see the contents of the actual fake page. I take it as somebody that probably didn't like her, that had a personal vendetta against her. You know, maybe more than likely it was one of the females that she assaulted. as we've seen, she has a number of aggravated assault cases and battery cases against her. But nonetheless, upon looking at this, I saw people, mainly black, other black thoughts, arguing back and forth with this Nina Ross, whoever created this Exposing Nina Ross page, on the actual page of Nina Ross, the boss. Of course, we know she's not a boss. She's just a dumb criminal asshole that's dead now, but I'm just saying that was her stage name, Nina Ross, the boss. And what they were saying was they were pretty much regurgitating the same thing that the brothers were saying, but they were questioning the validity of what Exposing Nina Ross was actually saying. And from the gist of it, what I picked up was that this Exposing Nina Ross page was alleging that she was, trying to set up an Arab man and for robbery, and she had a history of setting men up that wanted to fuck her or were fucking her, and if she thought they had money, she would draw them in with that stank ass pussy and that silicone fake ass butt that she had, and just when they got nice and comfortable, then she would send one of her goons to stick them up. And so, what I picked up was that this Arab, they were sitting in a driveway of this car when this whole shooting happened, and he may have thought that he was getting ready to go in the house and bang this broad for probably the 30th or 40th time, and her and one of her goons tried to rob this dude, and he had a gun on him. He killed her in the driver's seat, and then before he could kill the other dude that was trying to rob him, that dude killed the Arab. And so what I'm picking up is that police are looking for the suspect that killed the Arab in the botched robbery, that from what I'm seeing was defending himself. Now, I don't know, again, how true any of this information is for sure. I do know that these whores are scandalous beyond recognition, which is why I try to warn brothers, to think with their brains before they think with their dick. Definitely, even if you're gonna bang one of these ghetto ass, filthy, disgusting whores, the last thing you want to do on planet Earth is go to a second location with them. If you're gonna fuck them in your apartment, in your car, in your garage, in your basement, whatever. But don't ever go to a second location with them. Don't ever go to where they are, okay? I mean, that's just a recipe for fucking disaster. Again, I have to ask the likes of a Crystal and Karazin or Cynthia G when they talk about divesting from Blackistan and beta male coons. Have you looked in the mirror, Black Bimbo? Have you looked in the mirror? You know where these niggas, you know where Blackistan is coming from? It's coming from y'all. Again, this woman had 6 children. How do you think those 6 children, with this violent, ratchet, STD, nasty pussy, multicolor hair, ashy ass, retarded ass bimbo, haven't been their mother? And you know that even though she's dead, those kids are probably gonna be passed off to some other ratchet baby mama, or even worse, because it is worse, put in the foster care system. And for those of you who've worked in, state or federal child welfare jobs, you know how much of a nightmare that can be for a child. These kids are likely going to be fucked up anyway from bad influences, even with her gone. But when I looked at her violent criminal past, and that she has, of course her juvie records are sealed, but I'm sure, they're no different than her adult records. And, her having arrest records in 2 states, including my state of Illinois. I went back to what those brothers both claimed to be from Tampa. 2 different comments saying that the reason why she was killed was because she was trying to set up some Arab dude that she was fucking. Now, whether or not he was Arab, that I can't substantiate. Whether or not she was trying to set somebody up, that I can't substantiate. But what I can say it is that those stories are very much believable now, given her history. Because she passed herself off as a rap artist slash model. She's one of those silicone butt injected Instagram hoes that basically sell their services online. And I've heard brothers on social media and brothers that I've known personally for years now saying how a lot of these IG model type black females, that a lot of them are into shady, very shady things, because that IG modeling, even though they might be popular on IG, that don't mean that they're making a ton of money from being a so-called Instagram model. Some of them use their Instagram modeling pages as an escort service cover to draw men who think they gonna get some nasty pussy to be marks for goons that rob them. And then the IG whore, she gets a piece of the cut of whatever they get robbed for. Like there's this one specific case on 48 Hours where this guy, he got killed. He was going to meet this, he thought he was going to meet this thot in Philadelphia. It happened about half a year back, and he was a college student and everything, going to Penn State. And he met this girl on this, well, I can't really call her a girl. He met this hoe, this black hoe, on plentyoffish.com, and they agreed to link up. And she sent him to a location where she texted him, and police investigators later found this out. She texted him that if he just sit right there, she was gonna be right outside. And instead, this goon rode up on a bike and tried to rob him. And there was a struggle, and the goon shot and killed him. And so the police when they finally cracked the case, it turns out that this same hoe that set this dude up, she had a crew of degenerate savages that actually worked for her. And the way it would go is she would draw in the prey, and then they would take advantage of the prey, robbing it, and she would get a cut of whatever they robbed. And the way she covered it was, they would always send the victim to a different location, and she would always come out just anywhere from seconds to minutes after the dude got robbed. They had done this like 9 other victims. And when the dude got robbed, he'd have it would vary in reaction, after the fact. Sometimes he would drive away, sometimes he would get out of his car and run, sometimes he would stay there in shock. And if he drove off, she would text him like she didn't know what the fuck happened, like, I'm outside, where are you? While this dude is running for his fucking life, like she didn't know what the fuck happened, so that she could have deniability when the police came to the fucking scene, and he couldn't say that she was in on it. So when this dude got killed, that's how they cracked the ring. But come to find out, a lot of these hoes, not all of them or even most of them are into like robbery, but there's a lot of these Instagram hoes that be pretending like they so rich and this, that, and third. There's a lot of them that are into shady stuff, which at the very least hinges on the criminal underworld, or the black market, and at the very most is just downright devious and malice. So I could see a hoe like this, because just because she was a stupid ass nasty pussy thot that sounded like one of the rejects on Bad Girls, I didn't want to just say that just because of that she's a stick up queen, a setup queen getting niggas robbed. But after seeing her criminal record, I will say that it's a lot more easier for me to believe that that's what it is. So my point in this, because we know these type of creatures exist in the black community. My point is the same point that I made on that community post about this whole a couple of days ago. Now, it goes back to what I said. The likes of Egypt and Cynthia G, Crystal and Karazin, they want to talk about divesting from Blackistan. They want to talk about beta male coons. They want to talk about how niggas ain't shit. But then you got to think about the fact that this criminal ass, violent ass weave rat was possibly robbing people, including some Arab that was ghetto gagging her, if what these brothers are saying is true. Okay, and I don't have any factual evidence, so I'm not gonna say this is definitely what happened. I'm just saying it's more likely than not that is what happened, and he got the drop on them before they could, get the drop on him. Do these females that are always accusing black men of being the problem, of not standing up, do they ever stop and they ever think about, well, if the man isn't around, for whatever reason you think, he ran off, she has a restraining order against him, they broke up, whatever the reason, we know that the male 9 times out of 10 that produced the kids is not there. So the only person that's left to raise these kids are these ratchet, welfare queen baby mama thought bots. So wouldn't it be fair to at least consider that the black American female is complicit in the way these young black boys are raised to become, essentially what equivalates to grown children, right? And of course we know this is a rhetorical question because we already know the answer to it. But is that not fair? If a driver gets out of their car and leaves their car parked with the ignition running and a passenger inside, and then the driver comes back a few minutes later to see their car totaled after crashing into several other parked cars in that parking lot, can people really blame the fucking driver? No, he was out of the fucking car. And the car didn't just take itself out of fucking park, put itself in drive, and deliberately drive into a bunch of other fucking cars. So the only person that you can blame is the person that was still in the fucking car. The fucking passenger, who at some point became the fucking driver, right? See, black women are supposed to be the passenger. They're supposed to be in the passenger seat of the cockpit, in the passenger seat of the car, the passenger seat of the vessel, which is the black family. But they want to drive. But now that they've been driving for the last 40 years, they didn't know how to drive, they didn't know how to fly, they fucked everything up. But now they want to blame us, even though them and White Daddy, or as y'all call him, White Zaddy, bumped us out of the damn cockpit where the steering controls and gear is. So how the fuck can you blame us? Yes, we were supposed to be there controlling the fucking aircraft or the fucking ship or driving the fucking car. But in a majority of cases, we know with 72% of black households, being ran by single baby mama Nina Ross the boss thought bots, what you have are these hoes running things. And because of the simple nature of the female, especially as young as these hoes be having these damn kids, they ain't got no fucking sense theyself. How can you have a little immature, insecure, little stupid ass 16, 17, 18-year-old girl, especially if she's from the hood? How the fuck can you have a Nakia Bailey or a Nina Ross the boss type female raising some fucking kids? That's a rap right there. That's just a fucking rap. So again, do these females ever look in the mirror and blame their fucking self? Do they ever, grow the ovaries to admit that the black woman is complicit in the dysfunction of the black male and the overall destruction of the black community? rhetorical question, but I just thought I'd ask it anyway. Thanks so much and talk to you later, guys.
Now we blazing. My young homeboy, he amazing. The cookie rookie shook him and took him, and now he famous. Couldn't quite picture that. Wonder what he fishing at. Now you talking about this and that. I'm past that low, I don't diss no more. I make number one hits, you know. Believe me, I make it look easy. You wanna know how to do it, then watch the D's.
I see you looking, with your looking ass.